Welcome to another in the series of self-identity through Ho'oponopono. Our instructor has taught this process all over the world. He's an author, a lecturer, and a PhD. Here is Dr. Ihaleakala Hew Len.
Welcome to the series on self-identity through Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is a process of problem solving. The process is an ancient process, of a Hawaiian process. It's a process of repentance, forgiveness, and transmutation of errors playing in the memory bank as memories replaying. And so the process is very simple. You simply say, I love you, or thank you, or you simply make an appeal to the divinity in you to rectify those errors by erasing them. And so the Ho'oponopono is a very, very, very simple process. So today I'm going to talk about the Lady of Freedom. The Lady of Freedom represents for the Hawaiians the Aumakua of this great country. That is the spiritual part of this great country. And so Hawaii is the only state in the Union that's passed legislation that honors the Lady of Freedom. And so the Lady of Freedom is really a clay model that was used to create the copper model that sits on top of the U.S. Capitol. So years ago in 1980, Morrnah was visiting the Washington, D.C., and as she was visiting, walking in front of the U.S. Capitol, she heard this little voice say to her, "Do you know who I am?" And she looked up and she said, you are Pocahontas. And the Lady of Freedom said, "No, I'm the Lady of Freedom, the Aumakua, the spirit of this great country." So Morrnah began her long search to bring the Lady of Freedom to the attention of the U.S. public, particularly to the U.S. Congress. So she solicited the assistance of he was then the U.S. representative from Hawaii. He is now a senator from Hawaii, Senator Akaka. She got him to get involved in the process. And so Senator Akaka introduced her to the architect of the Capitol, George White. So she visited with George White, and she got him to agree to allow her to raise $25,000 to renovate the Lady of Freedom. So the whole process began by Morrnah raising this money. So it basically came from students from across the country. And so she raised the money, and then she offered it to the George White, the U.S. Capitol, and he provided other resources. And then the Lady of Freedom was renovated, and she ended up in the Russell Rotunda. And then years later, through this process, the Lady of Freedom was moved to the U.S. Capitol Visitors Bureau Center, where she's now located. So this great lady represents the Aumakua, or the superconscious of our great country. And so as I travel around the world, we discover that every country has its own Aumakua, or freedom. And so, for example, in Canada, it's George Vancouver. So now if you're visiting Washington, D.C., you can go down to the U.S. Capitol Center and visit with her. And again, this work of Morrnah resulted from the cleaning. And so as she did her cleaning, the different people who showed up, the people who were right and to direct her where to go to look for funds, so we raised the fund, the right people to show up. Senator Kaka showed up, the curator of the U.S. Capitol showed up, Will Allen. And so as Morrnah did her cleaning, all of these people showed up. So today, if you're in Washington, D.C., I would recommend that you visit the Lady of Freedom in the Russell Rotunda. She's beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And then we have the King Kamehameha, who is also the Aumakua of Hawaii, is also in the Russell Rotunda. So you get to visit both of them. Thank you very much.
This has been another in the series of self-identity through Ho'oponopono. For more information, self-identity through Ho'oponopono.com.